brothers and sisters, my generals, and welcome to another edition of EBX Discussion. And y'all know I gotta give those honors. I honor thy ancestors, brother or sister, righteous brother or sister that was a general that got many of us into the divine space and place that we are in. Man, giving us the power of being wise and man, and just making it through, with the best of our abilities, whatever talents we have, whatever strengths that we have. So be thankful. And I thank that great divine for waking us up. Again, I honor thy ancestors, and honor those in our families that we held dear that may have transitioned. Man, may they rest in peace and in power. And I place that gold over our families. May all of our families, especially those who are righteous and not giving up the fight in this spiritual battle that we're in, whether we know it or not. I know we hear it a lot, but we're in it, and if you're paying attention, you got your eyes open, you'll see, especially that third eye, again, those that we held dear that may have transitioned, may they rest in peace and in power. The body may lay to rest, but the righteous general spirit lives on, and that's brother or sister, young or old, because we've had some fired up brothers and sisters that may be kind of young, that may have transitioned. And salute to the real like-minded generals that are out here today speaking that truth. They have been through the worst, some of us, still standing firm. That's what makes a strong general. We have learned from those stepping stones, righteous stepping stones that we have come through in the past. And now we're here standing firm as conquerors in this bright, strong, bold future. And I honor current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view, man, salute. May that great divine bliss or bless you in your life, as well as my family, because it gets serious the longer we stay on this walk with this revolution, and we fighting for culture and or humanity. Forgive me for fumbling the words. I do that sometimes, but we keep it moving, right? Because we do this for that great divine, not to try to impress. And something that's been in my spirit. And I talked to my sister yesterday, where I text her, my sister Stacey, which is on this banner here. That's her mom that's standing behind her, and that's her daughter standing in front of her on my banner here. And we're going to talk about, as you see on my title, honoring true blue sisters. Honor true blue sisters. And what is true blue? Is when a person is unwaverly, they don't waver, and they're loyal and they're committed from the pit of the soul, just doing the right thing because that's what's a part of them. And this is a little honor to my sister Stacey, like I said on my banner here in the middle, and got me through some really rough times. She's definitely a true blue sister, as many sisters out here. And these three sisters right here, and this is my older photo. This is a few years ago, this photo, because her daughter is grown, and and things have a little different since then. But I just thought this was a beautiful photo of the righteous apple don't fall too far from the tree, because her mother's cool too. Even her dad was cool, and her family took me in back in the day, when I was it's the things we go through as an adolescent when I was younger, and wasn't getting along with my mom back in the day, but me and my mom got a good relationship then. I'm just talking about things we go through as an adolescent, as a child, back then, and a lot of choices that I was making, so I won't get too deep into that. But in any event, her family took me in back in the day, and I was best friends with her brother. We still friends today, as well as other friends, brothers I've grown up with back in the day. Other sisters too. Salute to those I grew up with. None of us are perfect. We all have our own paths and things we go through. When we get a little wiser down the road, we look back. And what do I always say, brothers and sisters? We extract the needed tools of the past, but we don't get stuck and we don't lag. And we use those tools for what? For this beautiful present that we all are standing firmly in right now to make a better what? Better future. Y'all know what I always say. What we do righteous in the present always benefit us in the fill in the blank. So with that being said, that's why I'm making this podcast about honoring true blue sisters, because they are out there and it's wonderful. Remember, sisters, you are the creator. You create life. So that makes you almost next to God, because I don't care how powerful we brothers are or men in general, what we can do, what we can. Now, don't get me wrong, we got some powerful brothers that have really helped build and shape this world, country, whatever you want to say. Melanation has had a lot to do with the existence of this world today. So, and that's facts, So a lot of us have researched things like that. So I won't get too deep into that. A lot of us know this, but I'm not trying to remember, just different, not better. So, but one thing that a sister can do that a brother would never be able to do, and that's create life, So that's why I will always honor thy sisters, but it always going to come down to you have to honor thyself. But I won't get too deep into that either. I'll hit a little bit on, toxic sisters, because we got to talk reality too. But this podcast is solely for honoring true blue sisters, like my sister Stacey here on the banner. Call her Sister Stacey. Sometimes I say Stace. She's, man, really true blue, and I've been knowing her and her family, her brother, and her whole family welcomed me in. It was just wonderful. We used to take trips, and I'm just remembering the wonderful times that this sister and her brother and her family, helped the brother get through. It's nice when we have had help along the way. That's why we should always remember those that helped us in this life, because you'll hear me say it time and time again. Mother Nature, that great divine, loves positive energy. So we're going to be as positive as we possibly can in this life, through not soft positive all the time. As my son said on the Father and Son podcast, can't always feel good all the time. Sometimes that truth got to come raw. Sometimes it be funny. We can have a sense of humor, but always got to keep that third eye on point. Great divine is our compass, and that's what will keep us focused at all times. I don't give a crap what's going on around us. Once we got that third eye shining bright, nothing's going to dim it. So that's what brings me to honoring true blue sisters. And I thank Stacey. And I want to tell a little story of how she helped with my transformation on this walk with me moving to Milltown, as well as my family. My family helped me too. And true blue sisters consist of mothers, grandmothers, aunties, sisters, biological sisters, sisters we met along the way. Could be young sisters, older sisters, just those who are true blue. And some of them are more true blue than some brothers. Unfortunately, I ain't trying to tear down brothers, because again, I'm not perfect. Get to the state that one is in right now was a process. It took some years to get to this point. So those who do happen to listen to me speak, don't get it misconstrued, if I said that right. It was a process to get to this point. All of us have to go through the process. So I don't want people to think that, one's not trying to act like I know everything. I'm this big ultimate top speaker. I worked to get to this point. You can ask my sister Stacey. Used to be very shy. I'm not shy now, but I move strategically, as those will see in the long run. See, when you do things for the cause, for my sisters or brothers, and you just doing things with a good heart and really trying to exude good energy, guess what will come back? So, but you have to have patience, because great divine works on its time. That higher supreme being, Mother Nature, works on its time, not man's time. So it gives us that positive spirit, gives us what? The gift of patience. Because what happens when we're patient and we listen? We appreciate the goal or the thing or whatever mission we're on, whatever we're seeking righteously, we'll appreciate it that much more better when we work hard for it and we be patient and we listen. So we'll always appreciate things that much more better. And we do better with it, whatever gift that is. I'm just giving an example. Anything that we're seeking righteously or doing righteously, and when we're not looking to get nothing. Because remember, as I said a few minutes ago, the higher supreme being, Mother Nature, loves positive energy, even when it's raw, even when it's raw truth, because it's not always soft. So I just got to put emphasis on that. So going back to my sister, Stacey, that, as I said, her family, not just her, but, her family too. But like I said, this podcast is about honoring true blue sisters. And Sister Stacey, as I said, was a part of my transformation of me moving here to Milltown, as well as my family. My mom, she played a part. So I'm not saying that they didn't help either, but I'm just, I'm talking about outside our biological family. Sometimes we can get a connection with a sister it's a connection that's unexplainable. It's that kind of connection where she could be taking a shower or whatever. I could be sitting in there on the toilet stool or whatever, talking to her, and it's no physical or nothing. That kind of connection, when you can communicate and talk and it's beyond the physical. That's a beautiful thing, because again, it was a process to get to this point. One hasn't always thought like this or talked like this. It took studying, it took listening, learning, all the things we go through to become all the great things that we have to go through. There's no if or and or maybe. No, it's a process that all of us will have to go through mentally, if we're able to, and I'll say, as I heard another great brother say, remember, things that I've heard, sayings that I've heard, I will always mention if I heard it from another brother or another sister. So that being said, as I heard a brother say, if we need help, and we can't do it on our own, nothing's wrong with us, get help, especially if it's a mental thing, mental, because once you got that mental together, everything else righteously will fall into place. But okay, I don't want to get too far gone on that, because it was a fight for me, brothers and sisters. I just want to put emphasis on that. It was a process to get to this point. So my sister, Stacey, get back to the story I wanted to tell. I used to stay with my brother in D-Town, Illinois. I got two brothers and one sister. My biological brother name is Marlon. I got another biological brother name is Cadius. And I have a biological sister named Shahina. And if I'm not mistaken, Shahina stays here in Milltown, somewhere. She's somewhere around here. Another strong sister. My sister, I'm very proud of her. She's strong, and she fought off a lot of things in her life. She's, independent, stands strong. She didn't travel, so I'm very proud of her. And I'm proud of my brother, both of my brothers. We've all come a long way, I text my mom one time and told her, you did a great job with us, through our ups and downs and disagreements and things like that, the humps and hurdles that we went through, my brother and I, my sister and my mom. And I told her, look at us now. So she did a good job. She did the best. My mom did the best she could with what she had at that time. But one thing she didn't do is she never gave up, through mistakes, because we all make mistakes. But what we do, brothers and sisters, we learn from them. And that's what brings me back to this podcast, honoring true blue sisters. Now, Stacey helped me when I stayed with my biological brother in D-Town. Unfortunately, we had a fire, and it was horrific. I'll never forget. Came home, and this is when my brother was with another girl who was kind of toxic. I won't get too deep into it. He's not with her now, but she was the reason for the fire. So she fell asleep with a pot, grease or something cooking on the stove, and the rest. And I came to the house to get something, came back 10 minutes later, the apartment was engulfed in flames, and that was the top floor. And before I can even reach the house or get to the house, because I was driving toward the house, smoke was coming out the windows. I said, please don't let that be our apartment, please. And it was. And, and it was like I said, it was horrific, because I never experienced a fire before. We wasn't in it, but she was in it, but she didn't get hurt or nothing. So the fire started, it was a front back apartment, one of those long apartments. So the front street was the living room. Then we had the kitchen, the bathroom, my brother's room. Then the back of the apartment was my room. So the fire burnt up the kitchen, most of the closet, because it was a closet in the living room, burnt that up, burnt everything up in it. The kitchen was gone. The bathroom was gone. My brother's bedroom was pretty much gone. But guess what, brothers and sisters? It stopped at my room. And I want to tell a little story about that. And I'll get back to Stacey helping me after this, because she helped me after all this. But I remember the fireman was amazed, and I may never forget the look on that fireman's face when they said the fire didn't even get to my room. The walls were hot, but it never got to my room. And I'm gonna tell you something, brothers and sisters. I did a lot of praying in that room. This is back when I used to pray. I don't even believe in the word belief anymore, because I have learned from teachers, since then. Because this was this was 2000, maybe 13, some 2012, somewhere around there. So this was some years back. So my belief, quotation marks, because I've studied that word belief, but quotation marks, my beliefs were different back then, but my spirit has always been the same. I've always had that connection to that great divine God, the real God. So that being said, I did a lot of praying in that room, brothers and sisters, and that's when I was really doing music a lot. I was always in my room doing music. I was always praying. I was always talking to God. I was always doing something divinely spiritual in that room every day. My brother would tell you, I was always praying. I was always watching gospel channels and listening to, I used to listen to a lot of pastors and stuff back then. I always had something of a godly spirit in my ear. I was always praying in that room. So, and, I don't wear crosses anymore, but at that time I had a cross, and I used to hang it on my microphone that I used to rap into. So, because I take the music and God, I take things like that serious. I don't mess around, even in my down times. Remember, great divine, we put that great divine in everything. Remember, the higher supreme being is our compass. So the firemen were very amazed. I was too. It was kind of weird that the fire didn't touch that room. And I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, that was not a coincidence. That because a great divine had bigger plans for me, had other things for me, and my brother and my brother too, because that was to get him away from that girl. Because that girl he was with, I'm just gonna keep it real, she wasn't shit. That's why we ended up having that fire. And he soon found out, because he ended up having more troubles with that girl down the road. So he ended up learning and got the hell away from her. And when we moved, I had to kind of watch his back, because some incidents happened and he ended up getting locked up and all that kind of stuff. It was because of her, but I stayed watching his back. I went visiting him in jail, all that stuff. And because his car, he almost lost his car. And, I made sure he was straight, and he doing good now. So, the great divine, that's why I say, when I call down protection from my great divine, it's for everybody. So that protects my brother, because when I used to do that praying, he was in there too. I used to pray over that apartment. I've always done that, just my beliefs are a little different now. Now I'm into knowing and not just believing, because we have to know, because knowing has foundation. Believing can be a little shady, a little shaky, a little doubty, because look at those who believe and look at those who know. There is a difference. And I'm talking about righteously, not knowing everything. I'm talking about just when you know true facts about oneself, person, place, or thing. That kind of knowing, not boisterous or arrogant, not that kind of knowing. I'm talking about knowing thyself deep within, that kind of knowing. So after all that, I had to move. Stacey helped me move all my stuff. She had a car, and she stayed a ways away from my house, and it was an inconvenience for her. But thank God I knew her. We had a good connection. I knew her very well. She helped the brother. My job was far, far away, and and she gave me rides when she could. She helped me the best way she could, and I'm glad she did, because if she wasn't there in D-Town at that time, and that's another thing that great divine either dropped in her spirit or dropped in mine. She just upped and moved to D-Town one day. I remember I was like, because we always communicated. We might go times, a few, months or so, or maybe a year without talking, but we always end up communicating sometime or another. And I remember, brothers and sisters, I was thinking this. I was sitting at my home and I said, I wish my best friend was here. I miss my sisters, my best friend Stacey. And do you know, brothers and sisters, when I had that thought, literally that's either that same day or the next day, she texted me and said she was in D-Town. Now, you think that was coincidence? No, that was divinely. Even she probably didn't know why she felt like she wanted to move to D-Town. I mean, I'm sure she had her reasons and her goals, but she probably just felt something she didn't know that just said move to D-Town. And I'm telling you, that divine connection, great divine put different people in our lives. It's not coincidences, whether it's a brother or a sister, but I'm talking about sisters right now. And that's any sister. Again, these sisters on my banner and this whole podcast is all a representation of honoring true blue sisters. So that's all sisters, like I said, mothers, grandmothers, aunties, biological sisters, spiritual sisters we are connected to righteously, whether young or old, like I said a few minutes ago. So she helped a brother, but she ended up having to move the apartment she had. And I stayed with her for a little while. She helped me move all my stuff. I just had a little smoke damage. That was it. And she helped her brother. And we had some really good times, in that apartment. But I was going through my little struggle. My car wasn't running real well. The job was miles away. And it was a little tough. And she ended up having to move back to Kansas, if I'm not mistaken. So she left. And so I didn't really have a ride like I had. Because she had to move back, and because where I'm from, I wanted to move from there too. You can make it there in D-Town, but for me, I had to change my environment. It was time to change. And I also got a biological daughter that named Naya that also stays in D-Town. And I didn't want to leave her at that time, but I just, work wasn't well, and I was really on the verge of being homeless, basically. So I had to make a change, and so I stayed there in the apartment for the last few months. I think I stayed through the winter. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, that was the scariest time of my life. Because when she moved, I wasn't on the lease. It was her apartment. And the landlord didn't really know I was living there. Fortunately, thank that great divine that it put it on that landlord's heart to be kind and nice. Because I used to write the landlord notes and let him know what was going on and stuff like that. But that landlord could have put me out at any time, but never did. Nothing never happened, but that was a scary time. And when my car broke down, it was winter time. I had to walk to work in the snow. I mean, it was far, brothers and sisters. Sometimes we hear like our elders talk about, the tough times when they had to walk to school. Hey, I can relate. I've been there. I've been walking to school, but I can relate. I had to walk in the snow, and I had to walk some miles to work and from work. And I did it in the rain. Man, it was rough. It was tough. My car broke down. I finally got it fixed, but that was a rough, scary time. That was one of those times, brothers and sisters, where I was vulnerable. I was vulnerable. And that landlord could have put me out. It would have been tough. So, but thank that great divine that it put my sister Stacey in my life that gave me a place to stay until I moved up here. So after winter was over, I made it through that winter. And that's another thing that happened. I ended up getting laid off from the job, so I was unemployed. I'm telling you, things were just, after that fire, just like it was just one thing after another. Because I'm telling you, that great divine has plans for us sometimes, brothers and sisters, especially sisters, And that great divine wanted me to go to Milltown. And I've mentioned this on another podcast about the experiences I had at MATC here in Milltown. The community college, how I always felt this magnetic pull that I was supposed to move to Milltown. And this is where my mom is and a lot of my family. I got family in Decatur too, but I couldn't get nowhere in D-Town. I was not getting nowhere. Even if I had a job, I felt broke. So I had to change my surroundings. I had to get in a new environment, do something new. And ever since I've been up here, it's like a transformation stage. I moved up in Milltown in 2014. And I tell you, brothers and sisters, that's when the journey began. So Stacey helping me and being there, thank God, she was a very important part of the transformation that helped me, that catapulted me actually to the state and the place that one is in at this moment, right now. And it's beautiful. And I thank her for being there. And I thank her family. I thank my family, because they played a part too. My mom was helping me when I stayed in that apartment. She used to send me money and stuff like that. My mom might not have been perfect, but the vital times when I needed her, she was there. She was there. And, my dad, he did things, my mom and dad wasn't together, but my dad did things too. And he was in my life too. So, he wasn't perfect. And, as none of us are. But my dad was in my life. I'm going to be grateful. He was the image I have of him was a strong black man, and he took care of his family. He did what he had to do with what he had in his time. He was in his kid's life. He worked, and he was accountable for most of his life. He cleaned up after he made a lot of mistakes. I'm sure he forgiven himself, and God forgave him. And he showed it. So, like I say, when we learn, brothers and sisters, that's when we definitely, have ultimately ascended. So always remember those who helped us, whether it's brother or sister. But right now, I'm talking about sisters. So I thank my sister Stacey, for being there, and other sisters I have met along the way that were true blue, and a lot of sisters I've helped. I mean, I have helped, but a lot of other sisters I've come across along the way, way in the past. Some of them have helped shape a brother, because I now understand more about sisters than I ever have. I look way beyond the physical now. Of course, I see the physical. I'm a man. But when we become wise and educated about our sisters, it's beautiful. It really is. It's beautiful. You open up a whole new avenue when we really understand our sisters and know that beauty within and out. So I thank my sister Stacey. I thank her mom, and her daughter is just like her, I'm sure. Her daughter's grown now, but like I say, the righteous apple don't fall too far from the tree, because her mom was cool too, and her dad was cool. So, and she raised her daughter very well. I already knew that anyway, because Stacey's a general, very responsible. She takes care of her business, She don't play no games. She's a very strong, firm sister. She's one of those rare ones, real talk, and always been A1 since day one. So I thank you, my sister Stacey, because you played a part in my growth and helped me get to where I am today, as well as brothers too. But right now, talking about my sisters, my true blue sisters. And I'm talking mothers, grandmothers, aunties, sisters, biological sisters, young sisters, older sisters. We got to honor them, brothers. Those that helped us understand what a female really is all about and how they tick, and, just educated about them. It's wonderful. It's wonderful when we can see past that physical, brothers and sisters. It takes when you look past the physical and not always looking at the sex all the time, it takes the blinders off. You really can see, it's like that song say, I could see clearly now, the rain is gone. But it's more than saying it. We have to feel it, and it's beautiful. So I will always cherish and remember the true blue sisters that played a part in my life. Like I said, that's in my family and outside my family. Again, salute my sister Stacey. Thank you, and your mom, and thank you for introducing me to your brother, your family. And as again, like I said, me and her brother, we were ace coon boom. We used to do we used to have so much fun together. Her brother and I, and her, we all did, Our friends we grew up with had some really wonderful times, through the differences and ups and downs, and back when I was an asshole and doing dumbass shit, But I'm sure they know I was different back then. But thank God I learned from that. I had my karma too. Everybody, no one can escape that karma. I don't care what we feel, how we think, or what we think about karma. Either or, keep doing bad shit, and you'll know if karma is real or not. Just live an evil, bad life, an unforgiving life, and don't repent. You don't give a damn. Okay, you'll find out if karma is real. So, and like I said, I'm trying to keep it positive, just honoring our true blue sisters. But I got to keep it raw too. Now, my toxic sisters out there, they are out there. I got to touch on that. If you don't want to get it together, remember, if you're healthy, mind, body, and soul, you're aware and you know better. So it's all up to you to do the right thing, and you do it for oneself. We don't, my sisters, now I'm not talking about the righteous sisters. They got themselves together, young and old. Now, this is the toxic ones. Now, if you don't want to get yourself together, then you're going to find yourself by yourself, basically, and not by choice. Because if you're a manipulator, you play games, you don't want to learn, especially if you know better and you are somewhat of age, then what if your life, you can't cry to nobody but yourself. There's only one being in this life that you're going to have to go to, and it's right in that mirror. And also that great divine. You have to go to God. Forgive yourself, but you don't do it to impress no one else. You do it for oneself. You know, we got to better ourselves for ourselves. You know, not trying to impress somebody. Do it because it's the right thing to do. And sisters, stop using your damn body to manipulate. That shit is really getting old. I'm getting tired of that. I'm a man. You know, I love a voluptuous sister, a beautiful sister. But that physical shit, you miss me with that. You know, I'm beyond that now. Brothers out here, those of us that are wise, that have been on this planet for a while, that we're tired of that shit. You know, don't use your body to play games, manipulate, or play with somebody's mind. You know, because it's only going to backfire, and you're the one that's going to pay for it in the end, especially if you run into a brother that's aware, you know, and knows himself. So, because there are a lot of brothers out here that do know themselves amongst the ones that don't. So don't forget that. So don't play with a brother that has integrity. You know, we have no time for that shit. There's too much shit going on in this world. You know, we have children, you know, there are entities out there that's trying to break up the melanated family. You know, we have to look at the bigger picture and start getting trapped in our own small little dumbass feelings, you know, and learn to look above and beyond, you know, those that are toxic. You know, I'm telling you, if you're healthy, nothing wrong with you, and you're aware, then you have to accept the consequences that of the toxic things that you have done or doing. So I'm going to stop right there, you know. But I'm going to keep it raw, you know, because if I said on so many podcasts and on that Live in Love, Divine Discipline, as I said on there, you know, we got to give tough love too. I go again, like my son said, things can't always feel good all the time, you know. We show love, we share positivity, we give positivity. But at the same time, we have to honor that truth. You know, we have to be pro-truth, pro-life. You know what I'm saying? We got to be about breathing life, not manipulating, taking, or using. Because that great divine gives all of us life and loves us and, man, breathe life into us. You know, sometimes when we don't even freaking deserve it. I say that sometimes. So I don't want to get too far off in that, but I got to keep it raw, you know, because I love my sisters, even ones that may had a negative experience with. I learn from them too, but you're not going to drag me down. Sorry. A lot of us have fought too hard, especially my sisters, to get to the state and the place that great divine has got so many of us in at this point. So, but I think, like I say, I honor and I thank the true blue sisters that helped me in my life and helped me become the man I am today, the brother, the black man I am today. So thank those I honor true blue sisters that have been in my life, and that's in my family and outside my family. One more time, salute my sister Stacey and her family, man, for being there when I needed them. They were there, as well as my family too. But you know, it's nice to have, you know, family outside of family too. It's beautiful. It's rare, but it's beautiful when we have that. So that's my thought, and thank those for coming in to another edition of EBX Discussion. You know, current subscribers, new subscribers, anyone that view my real like-minded content creators. Salute all I just said. May that great divine bliss or bless y'all in y'all life on your walk. And that's my current subscribers, new subscribers, anybody that view real like-minded, emphasis on real like-minded brothers and sisters out there. Salute to my sister Stacey. And again, I honor my true blue sisters of this world, you know, and that was a catalyst in my life to help me be the brother I am. Thank you. And I honor my family. Salute. I honor your family. I honor my children, their mothers, brothers and sisters all over the world. Please keep that ultimate peace in your part of the world, wherever you are right now. And my sisters, stay up out there. Those that are true blue, that great divine is in your life. Stay with it. Don't you ever stop being that sister, that beautiful, true blue sister that you are. And a general salute.